And now it's time for another edition of What Would Jello Do? Well, I hope they got lots of crank and methamphetamines in the House of Representatives. There's an awful lot to do before they aren't running the show anymore and the lunatics really take over the asylum and save Ukraine from Putin by going after Hunter Biden year after year after year. So much to be done. And now we have a Reverend Rob Shank testifying before, I think it was the House Judiciary Committee today, about his role in a group of religious right, kind of stealth operatives, anti-abortion fanatics, at least at the time, who would be hounding and whining and dining and hanging out with certain already right-wing as hell Supreme Court justices, just to prod them even further than the Koch brothers and the Federalist Society already were, to make the correct ruling on things like blowing up Roe v. Wade. And they're saying the scandal was that Samuel Alito, yes, a walking scandal if there ever was one, leaked it to Reverend Shank before they handed down the decision what they were intending to do with the Hobby Lobby case. He leaked it this time himself. Well, the worst part about this, the real scandal, is all that kind of cozying up to and lobbying and maybe even bribing Supreme Court justices, like when they go out for that confab with what used to be two Koch brothers out in Palm Desert every year, honorary keynote speeches by Clarence Thomas or Scalia or John Roberts, or, I don't know how much money they make from that, but it also means all the movers and shakers can have, look, we got this thing called Citizens United. It's going to reach you in about 2 years. That's the one where we legalize bribery. Okay, Mr. Koch, anything you say. That is how insanely corrupt this Supreme Court is. And just wait till they blow up all the environmental and anti-pollution laws very, very soon. The point being, all this is legal. All of it. There are ethics requirements for other judges, federal judges, all the way up to the courts of appeals. But just like the president, Supreme Court justice doesn't have a code of ethics for themselves at all. And if they really think they don't need one, well, how about Clarence Thomas and his wife on January 6th? How about Alito in general, or Roberts in general, or you get my point. Hey, lame duck Congress, you can still fix this before this Congress is done. Ethics code for Supreme Court justices. They won't do it themselves. You must impose it on them. And while you're at it, let's not forget the other badly needed ethics reform that you never seem to get around to passing because there's too many things raining down on your head. It's just like getting rid of the Electoral College. Oh, well, we'll get to that someday. Right now, we got to make sure we have a debt ceiling. Okay, fine. But now is the time before the 2024 election to codify it in federal law that it isn't just cabinet secretaries or people under the president who have to divest of all their holdings in companies they are supposed to be governing and get rid of all that and by law disclose their tax returns. All presidential candidates on the ballot in November, somebody wants your tax returns, you have to cough them up. And that would even include me if I ever run for president again. And more importantly, include Donald Trump without all these battles to get his goddamn tax returns, which are public property. And where the House committee investigating that has, well, that's Ways and Means in it. They have 2 or 3 weeks to look at the whole damn thing and then try to issue a report. That should be public domain. Pass these ethic laws while nobody's paying attention to it because everybody thinks they're already there and it's not. President must divest just like the cabinet secretaries and everybody else. And everybody gets to see your tax returns, Jack, by law, just like would already happen if you were vice president.